Hello everyone, welcome back to Lucky Loads 15, and in this video we'll be previewing day 4 of Glorious Goodwood. Before we get stuck into those selections where I'll give you a preview for each race, I just want to reflect on how today went. It was a really good day for us in the end. We had a winner with Communique, who won very well in the first race for Mark Johnston and Sylvester de Souza. Greenback Boogie as well ran well for us in the 410 at 12 to 1 each way, so it was a bit more like it today, and it was a really good day for me as well. For those that do not know, I was with BBC Radio Sussex and Surrey as their racing pundit. Absolutely enjoyed it. Probably one of the best days I've ever had so far in my journalism experiences. It really was right up there. It was nice to get a winner. Also as well, got to meet and speak to Frankie Dettori. That was an absolute honour meeting him. He is a great, kind man, giving up his time. And also as well, we spoke to David Egan, who won on a very nice filly for Roger Varian called Pilaster in the 225. So yeah, it was a really good day today. Also as well, you can probably tell I caught the sun. I'm absolutely burnt. I forgot to take the sun cream. Typical bloke. It wasn't until I got there that I realised that actually the weather does look quite nice. And yeah, the sun cream was left at home. So yeah, I look like a sun-dried tomato in my nose especially. So yeah, we'll get stuck on to tomorrow's race in action. It kicks off tomorrow at 1:50, as all the races have been this week at Glorious Goodwood, and we're going with a horse here called Mirage Dancer. You might remember I put up Mirage Dancer at Royal Ascot and was very unlucky that day, I thought, in running. James McDonald, who was booked to ride it, I thought didn't give it the best of rides, but it still ran with promise that day and has been a fair horse. Won a listed race earlier this season, and also as well put in a really good performance last time, bouncing back somewhere near its best in a Group 2 at Newmarket, finishing in second place. So the form of it's worked out pretty well in its career so far. Ryan Moore is booked for the ride tomorrow for Sir Michael Stout in the colours of the Jobman group. So really, you got to think Mirage Dancer has got a great chance at this level tomorrow, and I'm definitely going to be backing it. I think 2 to 1 is a nice juicy price, and I definitely think this one would probably go very close, I think, to even money. I think maybe 11 to 10 this horse could go off at tomorrow. We then go to the 225. Again, not going to be original here, but I think Freding is the one they've all got to beat. 9 to 4 I thought was a little bit of a tasty price, trained by Mark Johnston. James Doyle is booked for the ride. Now Freding, you might remember, won at Glorious Goodwood last year, the first ever appearance she made on a race course, so we know she likes the track. Then was in a bit of the wilderness for a while, but then turned up and won a Group 2 at York earlier this year, then put in a blinding performance behind Alpha Centauri to finish second at Royal Ascot, but then flopped, however, last time out in the Falmouth. And Mark Johnston's horses can often do this, but if you look at the whole field tomorrow, they're going to have to really make some gains to get anywhere near Freding if she's anything like her normal self. So for me, I thought this one was a straightforward race. We then go to the 3 o'clock, and again, I looked through the whole field here, but no real strong fancies on any outsiders. I'm going to go with Seniority. 4-1 bookmakers at the moment. I thought ran a good race at Royal Ascot, given away a penalty, but I still think that was a nice performance. I still think it's well handicapped off a mark of 98. This would be a very popular winner tomorrow, owned by the Queen, trained by William Haggis, who's been in very good form already this week. 2 winners on the first day of Glorious Goodwood. Ryan Moore booked for the ride tomorrow. I think he's going to have a good day. It's 4-1 bookmakers at the moment, and again, I could see this horse running really well. It's already had 2 wins this season. One of those was at Chelmsford in a fairly decent pot. So for me, yeah, I'm going to stick with Seniority here. However, I'm going to go for a little bit of a shock tomorrow in the 335. I'm going to take Batash on in the King George with Sioux Nation. 7-1 bookmakers at the moment. I think it's a great each way bet to nothing, so you should definitely do it. But I think the trip back to 5 furlongs tomorrow should definitely suit. 1 over 5 furlongs quite early on in its career. Going to be getting the 3-year-old allowance. Bit more like it last time, finishing 5th in the July Cup. Kind of lost its way, but it's trained by Aidan O'Brien, who had their first winner today with Land Force, which was a very good ride by Ryan Moore, and again he's booked for the ride. And I thought maybe Sioux Nation gets the ground he likes. It's drying out, and for me, I think he's going to win the race tomorrow, and I think he'll upset Batash. I'm not really keen on Batash, to be honest with you. Don't think he did the job well on his seasonal reappearance at Haydock, and then even last time out at Royal Ascot, I still don't think he ran a great race, even though he did finish in second place. The form of that race hasn't really worked out too well. So for me, Sioux Nation at the prices is the one to be on. We then go to the 410 with a horse called Barend Boy in a competitive handicap. 8-1 bookmakers at the moment, trained by Hugo Palmer. Jason Watson takes £5 off. Now, I was at Lingfield for the Silk Series meeting a couple of weeks ago, and this horse, Barend Boy, won very nicely by over 3 lengths in quite a fair, decent little contest it was. It was the first time it had been seen since having a gelding operation, and was definitely reaping the benefits of that. I actually said to my girlfriend in this race, I said, yeah, I fancy it in the paddock, but I just said I don't think it's going to win. I said don't do it. And what did she do? She went and did it, didn't she, at a nice little price of 3-1, and it absolutely hosed up. So yeah, this one's been in my mind ever since, and it's interesting it goes here. Thought I had a great each way shout tomorrow, and for me, yeah, that's going to be the selection there, Barend Boy. We then go to the 440 now. If you've been following me over the summer, you would have known that I keep putting this horse up, but I think it's got a very good chance again tomorrow. It runs very consistently, often makes a frame, hasn't won too many times, but I think it's definitely in its favour tomorrow. The drop back in trip 7 furlongs, and that is Fede. It's 12-1 bookmakers at the moment, trained by Rafe Beckett. Harry Bentley booked for the ride. Finished second last weekend in a listed race at Ascot, and it was only headed in the final stride. It's been running over a mile where it's been running well, but I think 7 furlongs maybe is more its ultimate trip. It's been running really well over 7 furlongs, tends to grind it out, and I'm expecting a good ride from this selection tomorrow. So that's going to be the selection in the 440. We then end things off in the 515, and I like a horse here called Desert Path, again in the Juddmonte colours, like a Mirage Dancer. Amanda Parrott is booked for the ride. Amanda Parrott trains the horse, sorry, and Frankie Dettori is booked for the ride. It's been a long day, excuse me, but yeah, I thought this one was an interesting contender tomorrow. 2 wins at Windsor this year, so we know that it likes to get its head in front now and again, but has been a little bit frustrating. Was very disappointing the last time out, it must be said, but it ran a race at Sandown a couple of starts ago, and the race of that has worked out quite well. We've already had a winner from it earlier in the week at Glorious Goodwood. Also as well, Corgi won that race. He finished in second place. I think it was actually in the same race the winner came from, Solo Citala or something like that. But anyway, yeah, that's going to be the selection tomorrow, Desert Path. I think it's got a good chance, and if it can be like it has been at Windsor, I thought it was a massive each way play, and I thought Frankie as well was an interesting jockey booking, considering he definitely wants some wins because he didn't have one today on his first day back after the ban. So yeah, that's all I've got to say about day 4 of Glorious Goodwood. Let us know in the comments box below what you're going to be back in tomorrow. Also as well, please subscribe to my YouTube channel here at LuckyLoads15. You can also follow me on Twitter at LuckyLoads15. That's my handle, so go and check me out on there if you haven't done so already. That's all I got to say. Please gamble responsibly, and we'll be seeing you soon.